Hello, welcome along. Nigel with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and I've got another review for you today, and this is a little something I've just got arrived from eBay. So, as you all know, I have the a ship on the way, CV1 Langley, which I've done a review of, and I wanted to get a stand to put the ship in. Now, as some of you already know, I've already got the Andrews 3D print. I can't really call himself now. I'll put a link in the description down below this video, and you can go and have a look at his. It's a big, beautiful 3D printed stand, but it's way too big for the model I've got in mind. So I happened to notice on eBay, I saw this and it was $21.99. I thought it was got to be worth a look. And this is from a company called, it was Hills Models or something, I can't remember now. Again, I will put a link to this on the eBay site, and then you can go and look at Seller's other items and see the other bits and pieces he does. He does lots of different stands and everything. So you can see good luck on your next build, signed off Stuart. So he's basically making these. They're PLA, and yeah, is it PLA? Is that what I'm looking for? It's the when they use the like the fishing line to print with rather than the 3D resin. So we've got some instructions here which are lovely, printed out in colour. It comes as a kit, so you have to assemble it, but if you're a modeller you'll have no problem with that. So you can see we've got a bag of parts here, and it's a great looking little stand for your smaller ships. He does a larger one as well, which opens much wider for your bigger models. But let's have a look here. So we'll do a review, and we'll do an assembly, and then we'll do a rough test. Got some nice resealable bags here to use. This is very good. Right, so we have a base. Just check, we don't have a parts list to go by. So we should have 4 of one and 2 of the other. So we've got 2 of those, so that's cool. Okay, so there, as I say, they're all 3D printed. And it's quite a nice material as well, because 3D printing can be very, very brittle. But this isn't that brittle at all. I know a friend of mine's got a 3D printer, and everything he did off of there became very, very, almost like shredded wheat. You know, it just wouldn't stay together. So we've got some nice foam feet there for the base, which is a nice touch. I probably won't put those on. I'll probably leave those off, because then you can slide them around. Somebody's just put something through the letterbox, I believe. So there we go. There's 2 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them, and a bag of bolts and some sticky back foam, which is nice. So another little resealable bag here. This is like D'Agostini Central, isn't it? Or more like Hachette Central. Hachette use all the resealable bags. D'Agostini have the cut-off ones, don't they? So there we go. So wing nuts and washers and nuts and bolts, and nice looking hardware as well. Okay, very nice. So for $21.99, I think it's an absolute bargain. So attach M5 bolt from under the base and secure with wing nut. Insert M3 bolt into smaller hole to keep bracket straight on the base. So this is the base bracket, is it? I'm guessing. Does it go that way up? That goes in like that. I'm not really sure. And it says about putting the, oh, okay, so it's that way up. Okay, so there we go. So we've got we're going to be putting an M5 bolt up underneath. I'm just going to check all these bolts are the same length. And they are, by the look of it, yeah. So we've got all the same length, so that's cool. It's been very sensibly designed in that respect. So that's going to go up through there. We're going to put a washer on here. And then a wing nut on there. I like the way this is all done with wing nuts and everything, so it's easily adjustable rather than having to find Allen keys and stuff. And then what we've got to do here is probably find an Allen key, having said that. Screw this into here. Actually, we can do that first, I think. That's got to go into there. Yeah, we're going to need an Allen key for that. Let me grab an Allen key and I'll be back. I found an Allen key. I think it's a 3mm, or is it 2.5? Well, it's not written on there. Is it 3mm or 2.5? That's a 3mm. Yes, 3mm. So that can go in there. I'm just going to keep turning it. Should have tapped it first, really, shouldn't I? Because I always do with threads. I'm always saying that to you guys. So that's going to go all the way into there. And then that will act. It's very nicely designed, this actually. That will act. So when it goes in there, it'll sit in that slot and it'll stop it doing this when you're trying to move it around. So that's a really nice touch. So what I'm going to do is take that off of there. Dottie's going to start growling and barking, so I won't stop the camera, I'll keep it going. And then what we can do is wind that into there, just like so. There we go. Just until it stops, don't go grudging it down or anything, guys. So that can now sit on top of that bolt. The head of the 3mm, it's got a nice fit to it as well, so it makes it kind of, it's not just sloppy and sliding along, it's got a little bit of friction there. It gives it a feeling of a bit of I don't know, like a bit of quality. So I'll put that wing nut on there. We can tighten that down or just leave it loose, whatever. We'll put another. Have I done that the right way round? No, it faces outwards. Oh dear, dear, dear. So that goes that way, right. We'll get there eventually, and then the wing nut's going to go on there. Right. So that's... Does Dottie come back with... Oh, she's after the envelope. No. Leave it. Leave it. Good girl. She's learning. She's just walking on it now to make some noise. She wants to be part of the video, that's what it is, guys. Right. So, alright, so I've cut these bits of foam to fit onto the leg. Now the legs are slightly wider this way. Sorry, the foam was slightly wider that way, so what I've done is narrowed the foam down, and they're 30mm long, so I've cut the foam to about 28mm, so we don't have any foam sticking out over the edge. That's when it gets caught and starts to come off and stuff. So I think this is great for smaller models. I mean, there's no doubt the big Andrews one is great for the bigger stuff, but for smaller models this is brilliant. I did message the guy, told him I'd be doing a review on it, so maybe he'll comment. Have a look in the comments below the video, see if he does. And one final one there, that's going to go on there like that. There we go. So as I say, I narrowed them down a little bit. You can see there's the strip I cut off about 3mm wide, just to save them so they don't stick out over the edge. It's when the foam sticks out over the edge it gets caught, it starts to lift when it's like that. Just make sure they're pushed down nice and evenly. Okay, so that's that. Now, these legs are going to attach to here. Obviously the bolt is going to go through there. Okay, so the head of the bolt is going to sit in that slot. So that's going to save it undoing. And then we've got a washer going on there and a wing nut going on there. Okay, so that can go at any angle you want it. Okay, so if you're doing something like a submarine and you want to hold it above the bulge, then you can, or you can hold it like that if it's a V or something. So yeah, I mean, I'd assume there's nothing stopping you doing an aircraft or something in here if you wanted to. And then these are obviously going to be handed, so that's that way. Okay, so that's going to go that way like that. And then we'll get a washer and a wing nut. And yes, you can hear Dottie chewing my chair. She has chewing toys you can eat. She has chewing toys that are like a nylon material. She has general squeaky toys. She has balls. She has lots of toys, lots of things. And she still wants to chew my chair. And while I'm making a video, I'm not going to stop her doing it, because I'll never get a bloody video made of those. I stop it every 2 seconds. I think she takes this opportunity to chew, as it were. So there we go. Right. So last one, we'll put the washer on there. Put the wing nut on there. There we go. Right. So that's gone together like that. Okay. Little suggestion for Stuart, I don't know if you can do it, but if you could put some sort of line on here, I'm not sure that you can because of the way it's printed, but if you could put some sort of line on there so that we can actually get it even, equal about, that might be an idea, but probably quite difficult to do with PLA. I can't remember what it's called, SLA, PLA, I don't remember what it's called. Then what he's suggesting here is to put a bolt through here, put that on like that, and then put a washer on, and then your wing nut's going to go on here like that. Okay, and hold that like that. But I was looking at this when I was looking at it on eBay. I was thinking there's nothing to stop you doing this. So you can put the bolt through there and have it that way round. Okay, put the washer on. And then you have the feet sticking outwards rather than have them sticking inwards. So then you'll get, if I just show you here, if we just quickly put this bolt on here, this wing nut should I say. Okay, so we just put that on there like that. When you move this along, you can see that with this one, the maximum width you're going to get is that much inside the end here, whereas with this one it's going right the way out. So it's up to you. You can do it as designed or as intended, or have them sticking out the other way. I see no reason why you can't. Maybe Stuart will comment below and tell me a reason why you can't, but I see no reason for it. Right, so put the washer back on there, put the wing nut back on there, and then we can test it. Come on. Oh, you would, wouldn't you? You would pay up, wouldn't you? Because the bloody camera's on. Thread didn't want to start, that was all. So we can actually have that like that, okay? So we can slide them along, lock them down in position. We can tip this on the angle, so if you're working on the deck and you want to be able to... there we go, she's had her barking fit, I hope now. So yeah, if you were working on the deck, get yourself a little armrest or something, or have it on the bench like this, rest your elbows, and then you can work like that and have the model in front of you rather than trying to hold it. I think it's going to be a great help, certainly to me. I think also it'd be a great help if you wear those magnifiers on your head as well, because the model will keep moving around. But there we go. So obviously if you're doing something really small, you can have it like that. So if it's a little 1200th or something, in fact I've got one here we can test it on. So if we grab my little Hornet, which is covered in dust, this is a little, I think it's 1200 scale, isn't it? We can put, oh Dotty, shut up. Okay, so we can put that in there like that. In fact, what you can do is move these feet all the way down for the smaller stuff. So have the feet down like that. Okay, it's best to leave these just nipped up, I think. That way it doesn't all just get all floppy on you. Ooh, misses. So we can put that in there like that. There we go, bring those together, bring them up. And bring them up for a reason. Yeah, if they're too close in together, you can see what happens. These wing nuts start to clash. So we need to put that out a little bit there. So yeah, it needs to be set up. So what we'll do is put that there like that. Bring that up. Bring that up. Just like so. Yeah. And I think there would be a reason to put these the other way around. Now I know this video is going on a bit, guys, but I want to keep it rolling because I want you to be able to see what I'm experiencing. And I think in my madness, I think it would be far better for smaller stuff. Oh, get out of the way, go away. I think it would be far better for smaller stuff to put it this way round, and then you won't have the issue of the wing nuts clashing, which will be quite a bind if you're doing small stuff. Now obviously if it's 700th and above, I don't think it would be an issue. Unless of course it's a little 700th destroyer, then you probably will run into this issue. But now, as you can see, with that put together like that, we can get this right in, nice and close, and we don't have the issue with the wing nut clashing. And we can still get into undo and tighten that wing nut, so we can still tip it up, tighten it up. Alright, so I'm going to do this end the same, and then I'll come straight back. Okay, so there you go. Even for this tiny little thing, it's quite awkward to get in there and do everything up. I mean, at the end of the day, what you could do here is take these and turn them around so they're facing that way. There's nothing to stop me doing that. And that way then, as you can see, this thing is very, very adaptable. Oh, this is going to play awkward now, isn't it? As you can see, this is very adaptable and you can do anything you want with it. It really is a great little tool. Now, I would recommend putting these in this way because it keeps those wing nuts apart. As I say, that one and those two, then they don't get caught up. Now, if you're doing bigger stuff, I don't think it would matter so much. So, let's just take the hull of USS Langley CV1. So we'll put these apart like this. Now bear in mind, I struggled getting that little tiny ship in here because one, it's so small, two, it's waterline, and three, it's finished. Whereas with this, I could just plonk it down in. So what I would like to do here is have these up as high as they'll go. Okay, just like so. Make sure they're pretty even or equal about. And they are. Make sure these are pretty level. And then I can plonk the hull and just pull these apart a bit like that. Pull those apart a bit like that. Plonk the hull into there. They need to come apart even more. Yes, guys, I could easily turn the camera off and edit this out, but you can also press the fast forward button on your video. So there we go. So we can bring these over. Just have those nipped up, bring these over like that. Keep this up as high as they'll go, bring it over like that, and just nip it up. There we go. Now I'm going to move these. I know I've got roughly the right distance on there now, so we could, oh, come on. I can tighten that one up, and then I'm going to loosen that, bring that back to there. I'm going to loosen this one and bring that back to there, just like so. You guys, I was chatting away there, I didn't realise the bloody battery had gone on the camera. So anyway, we've got this in and I've actually turned these around, so it's back now to how Stuart originally designed it to go. Okay, so we've got these wings here facing outwards, these are on the back, these three wing nuts will come together as you can see, but on the larger scales like this it doesn't really matter. And I've got this set up so that'll slot down in there. Okay, it's tight enough to be able to lift the stand up. Alright, and I've got the boat sat, or the ship sat down as low as it will go. It's actually sitting on the edges of those wing nuts you can see there. So if I lift this up and I tighten these wing nuts so that it doesn't sit on them, I'll put this in here. There we go. It's still tight enough to be able to lift it up, and I can still pivot it as you can see there. So we need to do it both at the same time. Okay, so now the ship is sat down on those blocks as you can see. Now something I would suggest with your excess bits of foam that you've got left, just cut a couple of strips and put them along there so that the ship is sat down on the foam. In fact, we've got this one here, we can do it now. So the ship is actually, that's never going to start, that's way too narrow. Tell you what, we will do it now. We'll grab our cutting mat, get a piece of this strip, use a steel rule, not an aluminium one. and we'll cut a piece 20mm long, okay, roughly, and then we'll come down the middle roughly like so, like that, and then we've got a piece to go on there like that, get it central, and then we've got a piece to go on there like that. So that's a little Nigel tip for you. Dottie's going to start barking again. Knife out the way. Okay, and then we'll put that back level, put that one back level, and then our ship can sit down on those blocks of foam. Give those a little pinch together, that will hold it a bit tighter. And there we go, you can see now that the ship is actually sat on those blocks of foam rather than sat on the hard base, so if your hull is painted it won't scratch anything. Alright, and then as I say, we can work on our model like that so we can rest our elbows and do the fine work with two hands free. I think it's a great little idea, and for £21.99 I think it's an absolute bloody bargain. I think the postage was free as well. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. Thank you, Stuart. I did buy this. I am not sponsored. I have received nothing to promote it. As I say, I've told Stuart that I would do a promotional video. One last thing I want to do is undo these wing nuts here, move these out. Okay, so we'll take CV1 out, and what we're going to do now is something which is, it's probably not designed for, but something which nonetheless you might want to try. Okay, so I'm going to nip those up a little bit tighter just to get a bit more friction going on them. You can actually do these up quite tight and it will still move around quite nicely. I have here, if you remember, I did a video on this. I bought this second hand from a young lady whose father had sadly passed away, and he got the hull glued together and that was it. But it wasn't very well done, and there was lots of filler on here. You can see the green. So I basically got it all apart, and I've put these plastic tabs in to get it all realigned. But I'll probably never get around to building it. But this is HMS Ark Royal, the Merit kit. So, or I Love kit now, I believe it is. So this is quite a challenge because one, it's quite large, but two, it's got this very strange shape. So it sort of comes in, so we need to basically hold it fairly close to the middle and have quite large overhangs on either end. So so basically we can push that over like that and that will hold it there. Push that one over like that and hold it there. And then I'm going to turn it around. Okay, as I say, he does do a larger one. And believe it or not, it's the same price. But I think it's the same base, just with larger, wider, taller legs on it. But you can see there that that is holding that in there. I just want to get this together a bit tighter. It's quite difficult to... Yeah, it's I'm able to pick the stand up, which is the sort of rough test I've given it. It holds it tight enough to pick the stand up. But the thing is, it's a model ship you're working on, and you're not going to be pulling it about and everything, so it doesn't need to hold it that tight anyway. But you can see there that we can get a 350th scale Ark Royal in there. So, you know, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a 350th scale Essex or a Yorktown in there. So so yeah, I mean, what a great little bit of kit for 22 quid in this day and age. You know, 22 quid is, what's that, a couple of pints? So well, 3 pints, isn't it? So there you are. What a great little thing. As I say, I'll put a link down in the description below this video to the eBay site. I'll also put a link down to the video I did on the Andrews 3D, because he's a little one-man band and he's doing his little 3D sets as well. So yeah, all in all, very impressed with that. There we go. Thank you for watching. You'll see me using this on a build very shortly. Bye for now.